Hello and welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair, and you have arrived at Streaming Idiots. That's right. Your descent is complete. You've reached rock bottom. Welcome. If you're watching us live, delighted to have you. If you're watching us on YouTube Live and you want to pop over to easternshorebroadcasting.com right there, you can watch live and take advantage of the chat room. So we would encourage you to do that because there are a lot of crazy characters in there. Who knows what they're going to be saying next. If you're watching us on YouTube after the fact, we're delighted. We'd love to have you come watch us Wednesday afternoons, 3 o'clock Eastern Time Zone. And it's a lot of fun, and we hope you'll subscribe to our YouTube channel. What else do we need? Oh, full disclosures. We're on disclosures now. Eastern Shore Broadcasting is my company, and we are resellers for the vMix software, for VidBlaster X, for Magwell capture cards, for PTZ optics cameras, and we design and build custom PCs for streaming. So if you are interested in talking to somebody about a streaming PC, maybe you don't want to have one built for you, but you just want to talk to somebody that knows, shoot me an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com, and we can find a time to chat, and I would love to chat with you. If you have been following this show, you know that I am none too happy with several companies who I will probably mention before the end of the broadcast, who are claiming that their products are NDI compatible. Well, we're here in the early days of NDI. And so in some ways, the terminology is still being worked out. NDI? Yeah, NDI is called is an acronym for Network Device Interface. It's a protocol and compression technique worked out by NewTek, the TriCaster folks, that allows a TriCaster or a PC with NDI software like vMix to be able to capture video from cameras that are attached to other PCs on the same network. Doesn't have to be video. Could be audio. Could be screenshot. Could be a page from ProPresenter or from PowerPoint or something like that. That becomes an automatic input in your production PC as if that device, whatever it was connected to your production PC because it sees it on the network. Now, you have to have a gigabit network for this to work, or at least to work well. I tried it with a 100 meg network, and it was a little creaky, let's say. But what's a gig network? It's $50-$60 US, not a big deal. So that, in a nutshell, that's NDI. NDI was introduced officially at NAB back in April and has really taken the world by storm, or at least our little narrow niche of the world has really stood up and paid attention. As a result, a lot of, I won't say a lot, but a number of companies are saying, yes, we're releasing this product and it is NDI compatible. Well, boy, there's a throwaway word if there ever was one, because either it means something or it doesn't. I think it means something, and I want to put forth a definition on NDI compatibility. A product that is NDI compatible plugs into the network and is immediately available as a device on the network, whether it's audio or video or pages or whatever. If your camera is NDI compatible, then you plug it into the network and bing, it's available as an NDI source. What other devices can we say? If your microphone is NDI compatible, you plug it into the network and it is available as an NDI resource without the benefit of anything else. You don't have to have NewTek's NDI app called Connect, which is a freebie, by the way, and will allow you to connect to non-compatible devices through your PC, or NDI Connect Pro, which will allow, I think, up to 4 different devices. The idea is, again, this is NewTek has thrown this great curveball, and it's a curveball in baseball. A curveball, if you're a batter, is not a good thing. But if you're the pitcher and you're throwing a curveball, it's great because you're going to be able to pop it in there and nobody's going to be able to hit it. In this case, NewTek has thrown a pitch that everybody's going to be able to hit out of the park, and that's a good thing. And that is the whole NDI concept, where it's wide open. Everybody can share everything. You don't have to have a NewTek TriCaster to take advantage of NDI, but you do have to have products or software that has got the NDI stuff built into it. For example, with vMix, vMix 17 is NDI compatible. That is, it works with NDI. It can see NDI resources. It can send its own resources as NDI sources to other PCs. It's really cool. It allows you to have, like we're doing today, my workflow today has changed with NDI, where my production PC that has all my cameras attached to it sends the output, audio and video, to a second PC over here. You can see it. In fact, that's the only reason why this PC is visible. And you can see me over there. Am I moving? Yeah, I'm moving. I got a wave on the other side. There we go. Whew. Heart failure there for just a second. So that PC, it's an Asus ROG laptop, that gaming laptop with the killer NVIDIA video card in it. And the video card does a lot of the processing and is able to allow me to stream and record on that PC without choking down this PC, especially when we bring in Skype guests and other type of guests. So for NDI, for something to be NDI compatible, it's got to work, in my mind, without a lot of helper. With vMix, when I install vMix 17, I don't have to go out to NewTek and download a bunch of different apps to make vMix 17 work with NDI. It works because it's got NDI built in. As I used to say with Intel, NDI inside. And I think it's deceptive marketing practices to say that your product is NDI compatible when it requires an app from NewTek to make it appear as a resource. And if you're going to do it with, let's say, NDI Connect Pro, it's going to cost you money to do that. Now, unless you're a company like Panasonic claiming that your cameras are NDI compatible and you're going to give away the NDI Connect Pro app with the camera, well, that's a different story. Then I guess you could say your camera is NDI compatible. It's a little gray area there, but unless you're giving that thing away, your camera's not NDI compatible because you can't plug it into the network and it works as a network, an SD, excuse me, I'm getting so excited. You can't plug it into the network and have it recognized immediately as an NDI source, then it's not NDI compatible. Now, I can see in the chat room that folks are talking about NDI a little bit, and that you may have heard about the NDI app that I've been working on. And I think we've got a good prototype, and I'm comfortable enough with the prototype to release it today and to talk about it today and to show you some. Oh, you know what? I have. Let's see. Bear with me for just a second because I recorded a video that I did earlier, but it's over on this laptop, and I need to make it available on this desktop. So let's do that just real quick. So just don't go get a refreshment, go to the fridge, get a soda. Pepsi's my favorite, but get whatever you like. I've got some pink lemonade right here. One sec. Don't go anywhere. Promise. This won't take long. Won't take long, I promise. It's got to be that one right there. Copy it. Thank goodness for Dropbox. Okay. So it's going to be uploading to my Dropbox here. We did a field test last week of this app, and then I did a, what can I call it? I guess, a beta test this morning. The app is called NDI Leash, Leash, NDI Leash. And NDI Leash allows my Jack Russell Terrier to become NDI compatible. So with NDI Leash, suddenly we have a compatible Jack Russell Terrier that can be seen on the network as an NDI source. Now the prototype, let's see if I can give you a camera version of the prototype here. The prototype looks like this, and any semblance to a Logitech webcam is purely coincidental. Of course, it has to have a leash portion to it. It's not wireless. The field test we did earlier in the week might have appeared to show a wireless camera, but that's not the case. You notice the patented use of zip ties as a cross to hold the NDI compatible leash device to the leash itself. So that's we're trademarking it. We have patent pending. So don't try to copy this at home. Let's see. And we'll take a look here and see if we've got, I apologize for not being better prepared. I thought I had all my ducks in a row, but let's see. Yeah, there we go. So the Jack Russell Terrier that I use is, the Jack Russell Terrier that I have is a guy named Rooney. And let's see, let's go find that thing again. Today is what? The 15th? Yeah, there it is. Just appeared in the Dropbox. There we go. So Rooney and I got together this morning and we did a test of the NDI Leash. And so with no further ado, let's bring in Rooney. And this was recorded earlier. So let's bring in Rooney. All right, I'm here with Rooney. Say hi, Rooney. And Rooney has got NDI Leash attached to him. Yes, he does. And we're going to show you what Rooney sees. Let's see if we can click over to that. Rooney, this is the Rooney cam. Yep. And that's what Rooney's seeing right now is the studio. And this is an NDI compatible Jack Russell Terrier, indeed. And it was as simple as whatever Panasonic did. You know, they took a camera, they hooked up NDI Connect to it, and suddenly they had an NDI compatible camera. Well, I took a camera and I hooked it up to my Jack Russell Terrier, and suddenly I have an NDI compatible Jack Russell Terrier. So, you know, anybody can do it. And what it means is, I think, is that it has lessened, it's diluted the meaning. It's diluted the meaning. Now, this is just a quick video because I wasn't sure Rooney was going to cooperate during the live portion of the broadcast. So we'll let him get back to chasing rabbits and squirrels in the backyard. Right, buddy? Can you say goodbye to everybody? Yes? Yes. Oh, he's such a good boy. He's such a good boy. Okay. So we're going to go back to the live show. Well, maybe in a minute. Okay, and as you can tell, Rooney is indeed cut out for film. There's no doubt about it. I am his exclusive agent, so if you'd like to have Rooney in a commercial or a full-length feature film, you'll have to talk to me about it. And he's pretty well booked up, but we could probably squeeze you in if we had to. Anyway, I'm poking fun at the issue because sometimes the only way to deal with something that's serious, and I know this sounds terrible, but sometimes the best way to deal with it is poke fun at it and say, come on, guys, you know, take a look at yourselves. Do you want to be the kind of people that try to deceive people into buying your product? Or at least to deceive them into taking a look at your product, and then you give them the rest of the disclosure later, sort of a bait and switch, sort of like, well, it's not really NDI compatible. You have to have this special little leash thing attached to it in order to make it work. Well, no. The idea is, and I'm going to put forth the definition, if something is NDI compatible, then you plug it into the network and it's immediately recognized, as an NDI source, whether it's video, audio, whatever it is, that it's available immediately as an NDI source. So that's it. I'm off my soapbox. If you'd like to, you can have one last look here at this is what NDI Leash looks like when it's in the real life. That's a POV from NDI Leash looking at my desktop. And again, one last look at the product. It is, again, patent pending, trademarked, copyrighted, and all that other good stuff. So don't you dare copy it. It will be, these will be shipping. Never mind. I can't even say that with a straight face. Oh my goodness! Yeah, what was it? Somebody says NDI, no dogs injured in the course of this broadcast. That's right. So NDI Leash, I commend it to you, and with a shaking finger, shame on you, those people that are not telling the truth and are being deceitful. You're really better than that. You know, you really are. And Edward's asking in chat, will Rooney be at the VMX booth at next year's NAB in Las Vegas? Well. Rooney and I had talked about going to IBC together, so we'll have to see. You know, Vegas is a little far away for that one, but we'll see. So we're gonna move on. Just this morning, vMix released another new update to vMix 17.92. So if you are following along with that and want to upgrade to the latest greatest, .92 is the latest greatest. I upgraded this morning, and you should never, ever upgrade. I mean, I'm an exception to the rule because I'm trying to show you what all this stuff is all about, and when it goes bad, I want you to see it go bad because it went bad, and you need to know that things don't always work right. So you should never, ever upgrade anything the day or even the day before a show, in my mind. If you haven't already, turn off Windows updates. Whew, my goodness, the last thing you want to do is be out in a remote location with a wireless device of some type, like a Verizon MiFi card, and then have Windows suddenly decide it needs to download this 2 megabyte update before it's going to let you do anything else. So turn off Windows updates. Don't update Windows the day of a show or the day before a show. Don't update any other software. Don't install new hardware. Don't do anything dumb like me the day of a show. So this morning I found out that Windows 9.92 vMix.92 was available, and went out and grabbed it, put it on my production PC, put it on my streaming PC. And so wanted to see, how's it going to do? 9.2 was supposed to fix some bugs that were discovered in 9.1. Were the bugs introduced in 9.1 or were they introduced in 8.8? I don't know. Merle was saying earlier that he had problems with 8.8, so he reverted back to 7.7. And he's waiting to see how the chips fall. And that's a good strategy. If you find a platform like that works for you, you may not want to update until there's a reason to, until there's a feature that you need that you didn't have, or if you find a bug in something or something's not working the way you think you should, you can update. Now you can always, what would we call it, backdate? You can always go back to a previous version. So if you're in vMix and you're up to .92 and it doesn't work for you and you want to go back to .88 because you know .88 worked, then by all means do it. Now remember in vMix that the desktop capture applications, there's one for PCs and one for Mac, that the numbering on those in terms of versions does not match with the main vMix product. So vMix main right now is at .92, and I think vMix desktop for PCs is maybe 2.76 or something like that. So don't be fooled by the dots. And they don't always update the desktop capture at the same time they update the others. If you're curious, go to forums.vmix.com to the vMix 17 changelog post, and you can follow all the updates to vMix as it goes along. Okay, coming up next week, we have the proprietor of Switchboard, who is Rudy Ellis, that's going to be our guest on the show. Rudy, you probably know Rudy. If you know Rudy, you know him from his days with Joycaster. Joycaster, JOICASTER.io, is that multi-streaming app where you could send one stream to them and they would disperse it out amongst everywhere. Well, they're still doing that, and Joycaster is one of their products, but now they've kind of come under the heading of Switchboard. And so Rudy will be here next week to talk about Switchboard and all the cool things that they're doing with that. So you really want to tune in. In fact, you want to tune in, I think, just to hear the story of where they came up with the Joycaster name. That's one of the best parts of the story. I like that. So Rudy will be here next week. And then the Lord willing and the creeks don't rise, Stephen Haywood from the Tech Buzz will be here June 29th on this show to talk about all the cool Tech Buzz stuff going on. If you haven't caught his show, broadcast now, it's similar to this show, except different. Yeah, it's different. It's on Tuesdays at 5 o'clock Eastern at thetechbuzz.net. So Rudy coming up next week, Stephen coming up the week after that, and then Bali, we may just have to have Rooney on again for a cameo appearance when we get into July. But we will deal with that when the time comes. Let's see what else is on the agenda here. I think we've got it. I think we got it nailed for today. If you have any questions and you think I can help, shoot me an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com. I'm always happy to answer quick questions, configuration questions, streaming questions, bitrate questions, things like that. If we have to go deeper into it, and we're talking about spending hours and hours on that, then yeah, we'll have to charge you a consulting fee or something like that. But sometimes just a quick answer can get you pointed back in the right direction. I'm so proud of my folks at Simsbury Community TV station up in Simsbury, Connecticut. Today, I think, marks the day, or is it tomorrow? Today is the first day that they're making the switch over from their old antiquated system to the vMix custom PC system that I built for them a couple of weeks ago. They've got it all in place. They've got it installed. They've got it hooked up and working great, and they're making the switch over. They're a little nervous. They said, anytime you make a switch over with a new piece of equipment, you're not sure. But I talked to the head of their equipment committee yesterday. We went through a couple things. And I think the biggest question he had was getting some speakers to play audio. And it was just a matter of reconfiguring the audio device so that it was pointing the audio in the right direction. So things are going well with them. I'm super proud of them and can't wait to see some of the great things they're doing. We'll be putting together, I hope, if they'll help me, a case study on what they did and how they did it, because it's a great example of how you can really benefit from a streaming PC that's designed for your use, with future in mind as well. But if you're buying an off-the-shelf box from Dell or from Best Buy, you're dealing with whatever that is. And if you're buying an off-the-shelf box from TriCaster or one of the others out there like that, you're dealing with the limitations that they have built into it. But having a custom machine, probably for less money, can be a great solution. And that's what I do. And so I'm happy to help you guys with it, or if just to point you in the right direction. I think we've come to the end of our time. It's been a treat having you with us. Actually, it's been a treat having you. Yeah, it was us. It was me and Rooney. Rooney's not here right now, but if I can speak for Rooney, he'd say he really had a lot of fun with you guys too, and he appreciated. In fact, I'm going to take the chat room that I'm watching right here. I'm going to make a copy of it and read it to him later so that he can enjoy it because he appreciates those kind of comments. Oh my goodness, I can't help it. I'm sorry. It's been a great day. It's been a great day. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube and we're not live, you know, my condolences, but go ahead and subscribe because it's probably this weird every week and you might even learn something. If you're watching live, hang around. I do understand that we have some doggy treats for our snacks in the post show, so we'll see what we can do with that. Otherwise, we'll catch you next time around. Thanks for watching.